It's March 28th, 1997. I'm filled with hope and anticipation, married a year, pregnant with my first child. It's a boy. We have everything ready: his clothes, his carriage, his crib, and his room next to ours, which we have painted and repainted at least 3 times in various shades of blue. And to top it off, we agreed on his name, Shane, stemming from the Irish, meaning gift from God, and God is gracious. And coming from Hebrew, it means gift from God. Labor is only 6 hours long. Breathing into the contractions, ice chips, everything goes exactly as planned. And one final push, Shane is born. He's beautiful, perfect, except he's not taking his first breath. And the doctor, he's working for it, clearing his airways, rubbing his back, but still nothing. We go from joy to confusion. What's happening? His eyes are open, but he's not moving, not crying. Well, the doctor pushes a button on the wall, and in rush a team of nurses, whisking our baby away, leaving us in complete shock. After 9 long days with Shane in this foreign place called the NICU, with tubes and machines surrounding him, we still don't know what's wrong with our precious 6-pound, 7-ounce, beautiful baby boy. I pump breast milk and hoping I can feed him anytime, because he looks so perfect and he smells like honey, and I brush his hair and I dress him and speak sweetly to him, but he can't respond. And on the 10th day, the diagnosis comes in. Shane has a rare genetic disorder called spinal muscular atrophy. We can't believe what we're hearing. The best case scenario is that Shane would spend his life in a wheelchair. And the worst case scenario is what happened. Shane only lived for 2 weeks. We were devastated, shattered. Is this really happening? The aftermath of losing Shane, it's almost impossible to sum up in words. I was lost. In my darkest moments, from the rocking chair of Shane's empty bedroom, I would write letters to him in heaven, and some really furious letters to God. What was supposed to be the best of times turned out to be the absolute worst of times. I didn't know that I wanted to go on. Then in October, I got a letter from my sister-in-law, Miriam, who lived 3,000 miles away. She had been reading a Connecticut newspaper about this woman who recently lost her son to the same rare genetic disorder as Shane. I knew I had to speak to her. I did some research and I found her phone number and I called her on the spot. Amy and I talked for hours, consoling each other. She told me about her son, Jonathan, who passed away when he was 9 months old. And then she told me she was inspired to do something good in his memory. And at that moment, I knew I wasn't alone. My first glimmer of hope. Can I possibly transform this excruciating pain and grief into a tribute for Shane? I began to channel my pain into purpose. And with a village, we founded a nonprofit organization called Shane's Inspiration, with the goal of building the first universally accessible playground in the Western United States. It's a place where children with disabilities could play alongside their able-bodied peers. Shane would have been able to play there from his wheelchair. It's a place for kids to simply play. And now we have 90 playgrounds over 5 continents around the world, with education programs in inclusion, education programs in inclusion, in 30 countries and in 5 languages. Thank you. I never dreamed that that tribute to my son would become a worldwide inclusion movement. I knew nothing about building playgrounds or raising money or gathering teams of volunteers. I grew up in the heart of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, the youngest of 4 sisters. My dreams were distant, and realizing them, that odds were really against me. I did not excel in school like my sisters, and I literatively and figuratively danced as fast as I can to prove my worth. And by the time I was 9, my parents were divorced. My mom had multiple jobs to provide for us, and I became a latchkey kid. So by the time I was 14, I had some fake ID so I could get into bars. And like my big goal at that time was to get into disco clubs and not get arrested. And then by the time I was 18, I ventured off to Hollywood to do what every young girl does without a plan. I waited tables by day, and I took acting classes at night. And I had, some success in commercials, and it was fun, but it was hardly the glamorous career that I had envisioned. I didn't have a plan at 18, but life had plans for me. And with the loss of my son Shane, and then the birth of my amazing daughter Grace, I began to see the world through different eyes. I saw the change we can have on others, the impact. And so that's why in 2019, when I came across this startling fact, it ignited my next mission. Women and girls receive less than 1.8% of all US charitable giving. I want you to know that's less than animals receive. I was like, no, that can't be true. Let me do some more research. Well, it was true. I was outraged. Where would I be today without the women in my life? So I realized there's critical importance in inclusion and not just in playgrounds. And so once again, with renewed determination, I gathered a village and we formed a collective giving organization called She Angels Foundation, where we give grants to female-founded and operated nonprofits who provide funding, mentorship, and resources to women and girls. And to date, we have given 44 $5,000 grants, empowering girls to dream big. This is a hard world. It's filled with challenges, disappointments, and pain. And what I learned the solution to pain was not to divide and separate, but it was to join and include. So, whatever you do to make a difference, doesn't matter. You don't have to change the world. But what I know for sure is that it will change you. Here's the message I want to leave today with you. Tragedy is not the end of beauty. It could be the spark that ignites the beginning of something extraordinary.